Hey YouTube, today I'm going to be doing my deck profile on my Ghostrick deck. Um, when I opened my Shadow Specter boxes, I managed to pull at least one of all the holos, including the Ultra Rare. So I decided to put together the deck, and I've been using it. It doesn't have, well, it's kind of incomplete in terms of the number of holos, as you'll see. But I've been playtesting it, and it does okay. It's not as reliable without 3 Lantern, which you'll see when I go through the cards. So to start off, I only have one Ghostrick Lantern. Ideally, this is the one of the Ghostrick monsters that you want to run 3 of. It's kind of like Battle Fader for them, and it's just a really essential card for the deck to function reliably, I would say. But with just one, the deck still works. It's not like Djinn, where if you don't have Yamato, the deck just doesn't really work at all. But with one Lantern, it's fine. It's playable. It may not be ideal, but it works. And then I have one Ghostrick Ghoul. I pulled one of these as well. This one is not as important as Lantern from my testing. Mainly, it's good because it's a level 3. It's a 3-star, so you'll be able to overlay with something else for Ghostrick Alucard. But 1 or 2 of this is good enough. Next, for the common monsters, we've got 3 Ghostrick Jiangshi. This is one of the important ones. This one's kind of like their Stratos. It's their Searcher or Recruiter. So when he's flipped up, so you can use this effect multiple times, because they're kind of like the old Rock Stun, where like Sentry Golem and Storm of Scraps and those kind of cards where they could once per turn flip back down. They flip up and get their effect and flip down and then do it on the next turn. The Ghostricks play kind of like that. So all of them have the same effect where they cannot be normal summoned unless they have another Ghostrick monster. So usually when you start out, your first turn play would usually, if you have this guy in your hand, is to just set this guy and then set back row or whatever, and then just end your turn. And the nice thing about him is he's got 1800 defense, so he's pretty good first turn set. So moving on, we have 3 Ghostrick Stein. Stein is also pretty good at 2 or 3 copies. He's one of the stronger ones. He has 1600 attack, no defense. And when he inflicts battle damage, you get to search, or you get to add 1 Ghostrick spell or trap card from the deck to the hand. So he is also kind of like Jiangshi in that he is a recruiter type of card. The difference being Jiangshi recruits the Ghostrick monsters, and Ghostrick Stein recruits the Ghostrick spell trap cards. Next, 3 Ghostrick Specter. He is pretty good. I would run 3 of him. Mainly because, or at least 2, mainly because he has a pretty good effect when he's kind of like a hand trap, I'll just put it that way. I'll let you guys discover that on your own. But I like him at 3. If I had 3 Lanterns, then I would probably run 2 of him, but he's still pretty good. And there aren't a lot of level 1s, so if you want to overlay for rank 1s, you kind of need 3 of him and 3 Lanterns. Next, 3 Ghostrick Yuki-Onna. This is the one when it's destroyed. You basically lock the monster. It curses the monster that destroyed it. So if this is destroyed by battle with a monster, then you can change that monster into face down defense position, and it cannot change its battle position. So it cannot be flipped back up on the opponent's turn, so it won't be able to do anything. It'll just become just a face down wall. So if it's, let's say, like a Dark Arm or something attacks it, or a Black Luster Soldier attacks it, then he gets sent face down, and then he just can't come back up, so he gets stuck like that. So 3 of that's pretty good. And then 3 Ghostrick Witch, which is similar to Ona. The only difference is Ona permanently locks the opponent's monster in face down defense, and Ghostrick Witch is when she gets summoned, you can target a face up monster your opponent controls and change it to face down. So it's more of an offensive play, whereas Ona is more of a defensive play. Sorry if people who play Carver Vanguard are noticing that I'm using a lot of Vanguard references or terminologies with locking and offensive versus defensive play. And then for the last monster is Dark Arm Dragon, and I threw him in here mainly because I noticed all the Ghostrick monsters are dark, so obviously he's a perfect fit for this deck, and I've been able to summon him pretty easily. So that's it for the monsters. There's 18 monsters. So for the spells, one of the most important ones is their field spell, Ghostrick Mansion. This thing protects your face down defense position monsters, and since most of the time when it's your opponent's turn, all your Ghostrick monsters will be in face down defense. They can attack you directly, but the nice thing about this is it halves the battle damage of any monster that's except Ghostrick monsters. So it's pretty good. I kind of like this archetype because it reminds me of Madolche, and Madolche, I like that archetype a lot as well. Both are very reliant on their field spells for the decks to play effectively. And then for the remaining spells, one Allure of Darkness for draw power because there's so many darks. One Dark Hole, Staple, and Mind Control, those are staples. I threw in one Smashing Ground, but you could, this is kind of like my personal tech. You could choose anything. You could even put in like Null Mana Cross out to combo with this card or this card. Or even Shield Crush or anything like that. 2 MST. Just standard spells. Those are all the spells I'm running for this deck. There's not a whole lot of them. And then for the traps, 3 Ghostrick Scare. This is a pretty decent trap card for a theme specific card. And it basically, it's kind of like it's not like Ceasefire, it's like a Book of Moon. It's like a mass Book of Moon against your opponent. I'll just put it that way. Based on the number of face down defense position monsters you have, and then it checks how many Ghostrick they have or you have, and yeah, it's pretty decent. It's not as good as this next one though. 3 Ghostrick Vanish. I think this one's better. It's the better trap card. It protects you reveal a Ghostrick from your hand, although it does have that condition of you have to have a Ghostrick in your hand. But it prevents your opponent from targeting or destroying any of your Ghostrick monsters on the field, or actually face down. You Ghostrick and face down. And then one Scarp-Iron Scarecrow is just really good in a deck that kind of stalls a lot, like this one, where this deck kind of can't really go on the offense. It can't really OTK. It's one of those decks that has to sit back, and it takes a couple of turns, like 1 or 2 turns, to really set up before it can start going off. So Scarp-Iron Scarecrow is really good tech card, and I've used it a lot in here. And a lot of people aren't maining MST anymore. I don't really know why, or they're just running like one copy. This card just really annoys them. All right, and then just Torrential Tribute. And then this is supposed to be Mirror Force, but it could be Mirror Force, Dimension Prison, Sakuretsu Armor, whatever. It's that type of card. And then Bottomless Trap Hole, Compulsory Evacuation Device, just the one-ofs. And then Double Call the Haunted, because it goes with the Ghostrick theme, and it revives your Ghostrick monsters, so you can overlay. So, moving on to the Xyz. I only have one Ghostrick Alucard because I only pulled one. Ideally, you want to have 2, or maybe even 3 of this guy. He's their main boss monster. And then for the remaining rank 3s, Wind-Up Zenmaines, Leviair The Sea Dragon, because you're running Dark Arm Dragon, Allure of Darkness, those type of cards. Leviair is pretty good in here. Number 30, Acid Golem. Number 17, Leviathan Dragon. Acid Golem is mainly in there if you know you can go for a game that turn, and you just need more attack power, because they don't really have a whole lot of attack power. You just go for this guy and just try to end it. And Leviathan Dragon, Giga-Brilliant, Grenosaurus. He has burn power, but I almost never make this guy. I just threw him in because he's a rank 3. And then the other rank 3s are the ones from the Xyz Symphony, which would be the musician guys. So, Muzurhythm, I don't know if I'm saying that right, the string Djinn, Melomelody, the brass Djinn, Tempo, the percussion Djinn. Those are the rank 3s. Mostly you're going to be making rank 3, or even rank 2 or 1. So for rank 2, Daigusto Phoenix and Gachi Gachi, 1 for offense, OTK 1 for defense, depending on the situation. And then for the rank 1s, number 56 Gold Rat, because I pulled him from that premium tin, Galaxy Queen, and Slacker Magician, because they kind of go in with the stall type of theme that this deck tends to gravitate toward. So hope you guys enjoy the deck profile. Let me know what type of changes you would make to the deck. Particularly, I want to know what you guys would change for as far as trap cards go, and maybe even spells. And then let me know like which one of the Ghostricks would you run 3 of versus 2 of, or even 1 of. So as always, guys, rate, comment, subscribe. Thanks.